Microphone doesn't work so great.
Alright, cool. Alright, live. What is going on? We are live across the board. Yo, alright, cool. Day 18 stream from SF-F Conqueror Book 6. What up, Twitch? What up, Kick? What up, YouTube? What's up? What up? Am I saying what up? Hello, how's it going? Alright, 18th day, writing the book in 30 days, actually, or less. Currently, I am at combined. Let's add this. There we go. Get rid of me. So, on my main copy, FCC from Chef to Crafted Conqueror Book 6, I'm at 36,512 words. And at my rough copy of From Chef to Crafter to Conqueror Book 6 rough copy, I am at 36,012. So that is 72,524 words. So I have 27,476 words to go. But the kicker is I have already done some speech to text this morning. So I got that. I'm going to pop it in this folder here, which is a translation speech to text program, and that'll do that. And then when that is done, I will grab it out of this folder here. And let me get rid of this. Ship, delay and shipping. Okay. Alright, well, whatever. You're seeing behind the curtain, y'all. And we got, look, check this out. Oh, you don't want to see that. Okay, let's get rid of that. Trash. Input, Yoshi back. Still waiting for it to translate. Let's get rid of this. So yeah, there's a LitRPG Con next year. I'm gonna apply for that soon. I am gonna wait though till I finish this book and get it published before I do. I have a pretty good feeling that I'm going to break the top 100 on Amazon with this book. Why do I feel that way? Well, I'll talk a little bit about it because Yoshi back. Waiting on Yoshi back. Because why? Well, truth of the matter is I have done everything wrong as an author, independent author, to shoot myself in the book with my launches and like my writing and stuff. So this will be the first time I'm doing it supposedly the right way. So I'm gonna give some advice that's behind the scenes advice that people don't really talk about in the writing industry because it's a very simple concept, right? People pay thousands of dollars and they go to all these conferences and they're like, oh, how do I make a book, and how does I get my book to sell, and how do I get people to buy my book on Amazon, and blah, 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 blah. It's a very simple thing. There's really only two ways. What's up, Kick? What's up, Twitch? What's up, YouTube? And Facha Book. The thing is, they'll be like, oh, go to this 20 books, or go to this conference, or go to this conference, and we'll pay you this money, and this is how you market it, and this is how you do that, blah, 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 blah. There's really only one way. Two ways. One is you write a book that just slaps, and the zeitgeist kicks on. Now, those are the rarity. That's the J.K. Rowling, that's the Twilight. You know, these things that really just culturally hit off, and you don't need to market because the concept is very, very popular and just catches on. The other way is you search for an audience that's niche. And niche is not what it's used to be. Niche is not 100, 200 people. Niche is 100,000 people, 200,000 people, 300, 400,000 people. That's niche because you have the whole world as an audience. So like I'm a niche author. I write time travel, alternative history, LitRPG, progression fantasy, just things like that. And my niche audience is hundreds of thousands of people love it. So it's not hard for me to get people to buy my book. But to be successful at it, there's just one strategy, and it's write 3 books minimum and release them every 1 to 2 months. Ideally, every month for 3 months, and that puts you in the algorithm. And that will get you the sales you need to establish yourself with a foothold, make a little bit of money. But that's the only way, other than writing that one book. And all these classes, they teach you all this shit. It's all bullshit. And hey, if any authors tell you differently, I mean, dude, hey, and they're successful and they're selling you their class, and you go to them and hey, man, whatever, that's cool. That's fine. But I'll tell you what I've experienced. I don't want to do this. I want to... here we go. There it is, Yoshi Beck. And then we'll pop this open. Let's see, how many words did I get today? This is just this morning. So this is exactly 12 minutes of recording, okay? So I'm gonna copy that, and I'm gonna take that and add it to my rough copy. We'll add it down here. Copy paste, we're at 3612, and now we are at 3719. So I did 1,000 words this morning. So now we're at 37. So add another 1,000 words, so I'm not at 27,000 words, but I'm 26. End of the day, hopefully I'll be at 20 or less. Yesterday I couldn't get as much work done. Just stuff happens. Life happens, man. It's hard to get as much work as you'd like done, right? All right, well, there's the little bit of that. Let me close that. Close that. No. That was yesterday. About that book deal, that audio book deal. I got it. I'm waiting on a contract now, but 2 series. 6 books, 3-book series. One's Warrior Academy, one is called Island Lit. I haven't written it yet, but I'm going to start writing it as soon as I finish. I'll finish this book in a week, a few days, 3 more days, 4 more days. And then do the rewrites. But starting next month, I'm going to start recording speech-to-text Island Lit, which is going to be a kind of a tower defense, portal, progression, fantasy isekai, based where I grew up. And my plan is to go around the place I grew up, and I'm going to do speech-to-text there for a while and just write the scenes out as I look at it and see how fast I can do it and how well it goes. So I'm going to try to get like 300,000 words next month. My goal for October is 300,000 words, I want to really kill this shit. So as I was saying, the only really way to become it is to be prolific. Prolific does not mean amazing, it just means hard working. You release a lot. Of prolific, you write a lot. So go on Amazon, look at the top people. They may not be the most amazing authors, but they have a lot of content. Yeah, so you just see it. You'll see my name in a few months. It's September, but October, November, December. By December, I'll be everywhere because I'll have a book out. I'm putting a book out every month for 9 months, and the stream every twice a day. The podcast that I do with Dom. I mean, yeah. So 3 books, at least 80,000 words each, every month, 3 months in a row, and then you can make money on Amazon. Now, if you really want to make money, you got to do 6 to 8 months in a row, a book a month, boom, 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 and at least 80,000 words. And it's got to not suck. Obviously, if it's garbage, it's just got to be okay. Because remember, most people read at and think at a 5th grade reading level. That's American. So that's like a 7th grade European and like a 9th grade Chinese, Japanese for regular education. Remember that, 5th grade. All right. So, what is this podcast about? It's not a podcast. What is this stream? I am writing a book in 30 days or less. I am on day 18. I have 73,524 words. So I only have 20 change to go, and I have plenty of time to do it. But originally I was doing 3,500 words a day. That was my goal, and that was 1,000 words an hour, so 3.5 hours a day. Now I'm killing that 6,000 to 7,000 to 8,000 plus words a day, and that's my goal now, is even more. So that's me showing speech to text. Here's from Chef Book 6. I am chapter 8, and just doing editing and rewrites. Probably listening to a podcast while we do it now, and do this for an hour twice a day, and keep it going. But then head back to the recording until the book's done. And then after the book's done, I'll start editing and rewriting more, and the stream will be longer. But it's still gonna just be me staring at a fucking screen and editing, and you can follow along and read or do whatever, hang out. Yeah, because again, I'm a writer who is streaming, not a streamer who's writing. And if you have any questions, throw them into the chat or send me an email. I don't mind, because this is not as labor intensive as it is when you're creating. Yeah. Oh, let me think of a tip. No, that's a bunch of tips. I gave a great tip for the day: how to publish on Amazon for free, so you don't have to spend any money to anybody else. I just told you how to publish on Amazon for free, and if you want a step-by-step guide, just ask Grok or ChatGPT, and they can give you a step-by-step guide. And if you can't do that, well, then you're probably retarded. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean that you're probably just retarded and you can't. Sorry. All right. What now? How about find something to watch? Oh, yeah. I was watching this earlier. The Con. Oh, so Sabine, she got fired, so she's all come out and been like, physics is dead. It's been dead since the 80s. They don't know shit. Like, it's crazy. God, the world's nuts, man. Let's put on the Macan. Put that in the corner. We'll get up on this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, I make all my chapters about 6 pages on Word, single spaced, and that is around 3,500 words. Have you noticed a pattern here? 3,500. Yeah. So I'll do rewrites and edits. We're at 36.5. We're at 36.5 now. Why is my microphone so low? Okay, there we go. That's better. My microphone just seemed really off. That's much better. Okay. Well, now... Yeah. All right, so we're at 36.512. We'll probably end up at like 37, something like that, plus after, So let's do it. I will begin. And we'll just do a quick check, see if anybody has any questions. Nope. No. Oh. Yo, okay. Yeah, I was hoping it was fixed. The mic sometimes just sucks. How's it going, man? How's the book going? You got it, you still writing every day? It's been a couple days since I've seen you. Or, yeah, it's been a few days. All right, let me press play.
I look down. And this, I think.
Okay. Real quick, let me see. All right, well, I'm going to get started.
Too many people quit too early. And we give ourselves the options and the parachutes and things like relationships and work, self-help. And we pull at something when we could still be flying. Even though maybe rocky flight, we pull it early. And okay, it's a safe move. Got down to the ground. What I was building didn't last. But most of the time, it could if you'd have hung in there. But if you have any ambition, resistance is gonna come. And so own that.
Matthew.
Matthew McConaughey.
You've been able to climb to the very top of the mountain again and again and again. Is this natural talent, or is there anything transferable?
First, look at what's in your DNA. Like, I wanted to play basketball, but no matter how hard I worked, I was not the fastest nor the biggest. So look at what do you have an innate ability for. Then, what are you willing to hustle for? And this is very important because some of us have innate ability, but we don't work for it. We grew up hardcore on hustle, hustle, hustle. Sleep was sin in my household. No TV. Mom would always say, why are you gonna watch someone doing something when you can go out in the world and do it yourself? And then, number 3, endurance. I remember this one time when I told my agent, what I wanna do is dramas, no more rom-com. And this $8 million offer comes in, comedy. I read it, I said, no thank you. Come back with a $12 million offer. No thanks. $14.5 million offer. I said, let me read that again. Ultimately said no. I just wrote myself a one-way ticket out of Hollywood. But 20 months after offers came in, would those have come if I'd have never stepped out? No. Now, number 4, if you do this, you're most likely gonna have some success in life, and that is you.
And what about Admiral Bill McRaven?
So he shared great wisdom with me when I was seeking out male mentors.
We reached out to Bill, and he wrote this letter for you. He said, Dear Matthew.
Wow.
Are you able to share what you were seeking guidance from him about?
Nice. Keep it going, man. And here we
To my regular listeners, I know you don't like it when I ask you to subscribe at the start of these conversations. I don't like saying it, I don't like it being in there, none of us like it. It's frustrating. Do you know what's also frustrating? It's also frustrating when I go into the back end of the YouTube channel and I see that 56% of you that listen frequently to this podcast haven't yet subscribed. And so many of you don't even know that you haven't subscribed, because I see in the comment section, you say to me, you go, I didn't even realize I didn't subscribe. And that actually fuels the show. It's basically like you're making a donation to the show. So that's why I ask all the time, because it enables us to build and build and build and build. And we're going for the long term here. So all I'd ask you is, if you've seen this show before and you like it, help me, help my team here, hit the subscribe button, and we'll continue to build this show for you. That's my promise. Thank you to all of you guys that do subscribe, it means the world to me. Let's get on with the show. Matthew, you're a particularly surprisingly artistic, creative, wise, yet materially successful individual. And it wasn't until I dove deeper into your story that I started to understand why that was, why you are, to me, in my mind, such an anomaly. Because you seem to be several things that don't often appear in the same place. So my first question to you is, what do I need to understand about your earliest context to understand who you are, the values you have, and the perspective that you view the world with?
Fun question. Earliest on. Basic values of respect yourself, respect others. Give a damn about yourself, give a damn about others. Combined with a mother that wherever we went in the world, that we might have been a little nervous to take a risk at. She was like, don't walk in there like you want to buy the place, walk in like you own it. So a sort of boosting up of what you could say is massive ego, but also you were not allowed to walk on your proverbial toes in our family. You were brought down. And if anyone in our family, if anything, I would say going back, I think mom and dad maybe could have been a little more lenient with the successes that we had. And when we did parade, when my brother did win the track meet and walk through the house like this, to allow him to do that, you weren't allowed to do that. You were immediately humbled, no matter if you were coming right off a victory or a win or a box office hit, you weren't allowed to. At the same time, you were raised up once you were humbled. That balance. We were taught resilience, heavy duty resilience, baseline gratitude. Quit asking me for new shoes. I'm gonna introduce you to the kid with no feet. Whoa, okay. Like sobering. Were these aphorisms from my mother? Yeah, but they were pounded into us, all right? At the same time, I went 36 years thinking I was little Mr. Texas because my mom told me I was. Until 36 years later, I look at the trophy and it says I was runner-up. And I go, oh, Mom was like overselling us to ourselves at the same time. You better be humble. So it was almost like that. Anything exterior should not give you your identity. Even though my mom's malaprop and fibbing to us going, you're little Mr. Texas. Or here, write this poem. I know you didn't write it, but it's really good, so turn that in for the 7th grade poetry contest. Okay, and I win. It's a true story. So this outlaw logic of my mom and my dad, also with work ethic, hustle, hustle, hustle. Sleep was sin in my household. Sin. I saw my dad asleep one time in my life. I got up at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning and went through the kitchen and peeked, and I saw him sleeping. I went and woke up my brothers like, dude, what, Dad's still asleep. He actually died 2.5 months later. And connected that idea that, oh, if he slept in that late, he must have not been feeling well. If it was daylight, you couldn't be inside. There's a fierce sense of independence. 30 minutes of TV a night, max. Mom would always say, why are you gonna watch someone doing something when you can go out in the world and do it yourself? Turn that damn thing off, get outside. You had to be outside. Like get out in the world, go hustle, figure it out, be home at dark. That was just the understood rule.
What about love?
We always knew we were loved. There's never a question that we were loved as loving each other, loving mom and dad, being loved by mom and dad, and mom would always keep on to make sure you're loving yourself. I remember breakups, heartbroken. She'd let us mourn. She was a great ear, very sensitive ear to that kind of to pains like that, broken hearts. But only for a day. After a day, she'd crank up the AC/DC, man, and go like, now, get up. You're worth it. Her loss. Come on, get out of bed. Come on. Quit moping. Lift your head up. Come on, buddy. We got this. Her loss. Give you the day. No more than that. Our love in the family was physical. My mom and dad married 3 times, divorced twice to each other. They fought. I got a great story in Green Lights of them fighting and my mom bashing and breaking my dad's nose with the phone, him getting angry, her pulling a chef's knife out, him dancing around, dodging these blades and then grabbing a ketchup bottle and like a matador going, touche, and splattering her with it. She's getting it out of her, just getting so damn mad. I'll cut you from your cocktail glove. Touche. And finally, her getting so frustrated, throwing the knife down, crying, both of them crying, coming together, embracing, going to the floor on the linoleum kitchen floor and making love. No grudges. No grounding. You get in trouble, which we did. 1, we were always guilty when we got in trouble, but it was corporal. It was take your licks. Get it over with, take your licks. We're not gonna ground you because that'd be taking away your time, and your time is the most valuable thing you got. So take your licks. You're not gonna get injured. It's gonna hurt, and don't yell, because if you yell, one of the licks, you're gonna get another one.
Licks.
Licks with a belt. I can't, I hate, and lying were 3 things that you got in trouble for. If I said I can't, my dad's teeth would just start to go, excuse me? Sure you're not just having trouble? I remember this one time I was going out to do my chores Saturday morning to mow the lawn, and I couldn't get the damn lawnmower to start. Checked everything, couldn't get it started. I'm going inside, I said, Dad, can you help me out? I can't get the lawnmower started. And he turned around, I saw his molars, and went, and he got up, walked with me through the kitchen, through the garage, out the backyard, went to the lawnmower, messed around, pulled a couple things out, after about 10 minutes, boom, cranked it. And while the lawnmower was running right there, brrr, he came over to me and bent down and looked me in the eye and he goes, see, son, you were just having trouble. I said, I hate you to my brother because I heard the word at school and I thought it could make me feel like I was older. I thought it was like a teenage soap opera thing, and I was only 9. So I threw it out there one day at my own birthday party. I said to her, I hate you. And my mom, whoop, stopped the entire party. 40 kids my age in the backyard. Stopped it. My birthday. Stopped it. Pulled me around the side of the house and he said, "What did you say? You don't ever use that word, especially to someone in your family." Gave me licks on the side of the house. And then went around. She said, "Dry your tears, resume. Birthday party's back on. Don't ever use that word, especially to someone in your family." So what did I learn from don't say can't? That if you're unable to do something, you can, even if you can't pull it off, you can go find help, which means you were just having trouble. What did I learn from getting a butt whooping for saying "I hate you" to my brother? Well, what I was learning is the antonyms to those words. Because saying "I can't," lying, and saying "I hate you" were bringing me pain. So the opposite must bring pleasure, right? Tell the truth, love, and believe that you can. Those were the values, how I remember them getting instilled in me. And to this day, I still have them. Trying to transfer them to my kids as well in a different way than my parents did. But I still, not even intellectually have them. They're in my being now. So the love was tough. The love was physical. We hugged 999 times more than the hands soothed much more than they hurt. 999 times out of 1,000. But we were a physical, hugging, loving family. You always went to bed with an "I love you" and a kiss, even if it was ritual, which it was. Like a Sunday service. Gotta wake up, even if I'm not listening to the damn preacher. I'm being subconsciously reminded that you should take a day out of the week to be, at the most, number 2. That you should go get humbled and say thank you to a higher power, and thank you for the things that you have in your life, and thank you for the people you have in your life, and helping those people double down on those great attributes that they have. So the love was all there. I'm happy to say that I have people, after that story I told about my mom and dad with the knife and the ketchup, people come and they, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry about your childhood. Oh my God, have you had therapy?" I'm like, "No." And please, if you don't mind, I feel like you're trespassing a little bit by coming out of the gate saying, "Oh my God, you were abused." No, I wasn't abused. And I never felt like I wasn't loved. Again, I felt like I let my parents down those times. Did I fear my parents? Yep. Are there a lot of things I did not do as a kid that I should not have done for fear of the consequences? Yep. We knew we were loved. I knew I was loved. My brothers knew they were loved. My second brother's adopted. He knew he was loved. And it was hard love, and it was tough love. And my mom and dad's love was passionate love. Divorced twice, married 3 times is a pretty good example of can't live with you, can't live without you. The one thing I remember being crystal clear to me when I was 8 years old, shaking hands with these 2 guys that turned out now later in life, I know they were actually Dad's collectors. I shook their hand, Oak Forest Country Club parking lot. The sun was down in my eyes. They had shades on. I asked her, "Nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you, sir." And I remember my 8-year-old mind going, everyone that my dad's making me say "sir" to, the one common denominator besides being older men is they're all fathers. And in my head, I went like, "Oh, that's what success is. If you become a father, you've succeeded." And that was in my 8-year-old, that was the math I did in my 8-year-old mind, and it stuck with me. So the one thing I always knew is I wanted to be was a dad. I meet Camilla, fall in love. We make 3 children. I got to 17, 15, 12. There's nothing that I can put ahead of it. Let me put it this way. There's no time that I spend being a father that I do not feel like that is the absolute best time I could be spending.
You've had that since you were 8?
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
I longed for that. I thought that was when you've made it.
Outside of wanting to be a father at 8 years old, which is fascinating to me and something I do want to talk more about, because I think that's a lost goal in society, unfortunately, is at that age, when you sort of in your adolescent years, if I'd asked you at the time what you want to be when you're older, in a professional context, what would your answer have been, 15, 16 years old?
Washington Redskin running back. But coming about 16, as I started to find out playing football that I was not the fastest nor the biggest, it then became probably, I don't know if I really want to be this, but I sure am told I'm really good at debate. I'm a really good debater. I would win over arguments with the family when it would be like where to go, or if I could go out and why. I would have a great presentation. My parents were like, geez, and they'd give us the floor. Go ahead, take the floor. Let's hear your argument. And they'd be like, damn. And so the word around 15, 16 was like, you gotta go to law school, buddy. Go be a lawyer. Be the family lawyer, man. God dang, man, you're a really good arguer. You make great arguments. And if it's not a great argument, damn, you got endurance. You'll just outlast people. And that became the thing. So I started to enjoy that, and that's where I was headed towards law school.
And I was reading about your youth exchange year in Australia, and that you'd struggled a little bit in class, and you were skipping class to read poems.
Yeah.
By Lord Byron.
Yeah. So I'd graduated high school at home in Longview in America. And at 18, I just turned 18. 18 in my family was freedom. If you hadn't, I remember this, if you hadn't learned it yet, you ain't gonna learn it. 18 was now no curfew. You've got it. Come on when you want, do what you want. Da, da. And I was rolling. I had straight A's. Mom and Dad are happy. I got a job on the weekends and after school. I got $45 cash in my pocket every day. I got a car. It's paid for. I'm dating the best looking girl at my school. Seeing the other girl at the other school. Playing golf. I got a 4 handicap. I've had 2 holes in ones. I got no curfew. Talk about green lights. I'm rolling. I don't know what I want to do when I get out of high school exactly, but law school's coming up. But you know what? My mom goes, what about exchange student? Sweden and Australia were the 2. And I chose Australia because it said, speak English, and maybe Elle McPherson's over there. 18-year-old mind, right? Thinking right. So boom, I go to Australia. I was told I was gonna be living on the outskirts of Sydney, which sounded exciting to me. It was the outskirts, but it was 3.5 hours from there. And it was in a very small town, a population 305 people of Warner Vale. And I remember pulling up that gravel driveway with that host family. And when the brakes, they're like, welcome to Australia, mate. I was like, all right, not what I thought, but I can make this work. All of a sudden, I don't have my car. I ain't got my girlfriend. I wanted to go see on the other side of town. I don't have my golf clubs. I ain't got money in my pocket. And I got a 10 p.m. curfew, even on Friday and Saturday night. I'm going to school again. So I feel like I'm going in reverse. Socially, none of the friends at the school. They put me in my junior year over there because I went mid-semester. And they wanted me to go first half of the year with the juniors so I could carry on the second half of my year with what would become seniors. So I feel like I'm going backwards. Socially, no one's got a car. Their interests seem to be different. The teachers are not, I'm failing. They're giving me Fs and everything. So I start skipping class, going to the library, and I find Lord Byron. And I got my Walkman. And I remember I had U2's Rattle and Hum on cassette. I had Maxi Priest. He's got a great Cat Stevens cover. And had an NXS album, which was an Aussie band. Hutchinson is lead singer. And those are my rotation, especially Rattle and Hum. Rattle and Hum, very socially conscious album about oppression and silver and gold. Man, that's what we're all after. Oh yeah, you think that's gonna get you to the higher ground? Oh, the evils of capitalism gone wrong and things like that, and freeing Nelson Mandela and the worldly things that Bono and U2 were talking about were like, oh, making sense to me. I'm outside of my home. I'm on a little island. You learn, to have an first objective look back at your own life. When you leave what you know, you find out a lot about what you actually know. And all of a sudden I'm seeing what my life was as that kid who got the money and I'm flowing, and I'm starting to look back going, I miss that, but I'm also going like, you're kind of good time rolling Charlie. You're popular, everything's going great for you. I didn't have any resistance in front of me, which was fine. But boy, now I got a lot of resistance in front of me. I don't have my friends to talk to. I got questions coming up. This family's we have a very awkward relationship with the family. They even wanted me to call them one night, said, from now on, you'll address us as mom and pop, which was a seminal moment because many things had happened up until that point that were odd that I was going, okay, that's just a cultural difference. That's you, McConaughey. Hey, stay open here. That's a cultural difference. But I remember the night they said that, and it was the first time, and I needed it. It was 6 months into my trip. It's the first time I went, no. No, 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 no. I'm not doing that. It was clear. It was the first time I had clarity. Remember, at this time, I'm reading Lord Byron in the library. The principals come to now see me and go, look, doesn't look like school's going good for you. We have this thing called work experience. Let's get you a job. You won't get paid. So I worked at the ANZ Bank. I work at the barrister's office. I'm taking these odd jobs as a carpenter and all these different things. And my home life is this over in Australia. I am getting home. We have dinner at 5. We eat from 5 to 5:30. I clean the dishes. I am immediately going back to my room, take a bath, listen to one of those 3 album cassettes, read Lord Byron in the bathtub, work one out. 6 nights a week. I'm running 6 miles a day. I've become vegetarian. I'm eating freaking lettuce head with ketchup on it. I'm down to 135 pounds. I'm pretty doggone sure that my job is to go to South Africa, and I'm going to be a monk. And that's where I'm going. Now, I look back now and I see, oh, I needed these disciplines to give me a sense of measurement each day of, oh, I've got my own thing going here because my home life, I was lost, man. I'm lost. I don't have any. I'm writing 16-page letters to myself, and I'm returning them with a 17-page letter. Socratic letters to myself.
About what?
Huge existential questions mixed in with, oh, everything's going great, trying to talk myself into keeping my head up, you know what I mean? But I chose, in hindsight, everyone's like, why didn't you come home early? And I remember it very clearly. When I said, yes, I'll go become an exchange student, the American ambassador said, sign this contract that says you won't return until a full year unless there's a fatality in your family or you're majorly sick. And I said, I'm not signing that. I'll give you a handshake on it, man, because I'm going over there for the year. I'm not pulling the parachute. And I remember that handshake. And I remember what my dad told me about what happens when 2 men shake a hand, that you don't need a contract, that is the contract. And I had a certain honor with that. There was no way I was coming home. If I'd have come home, I'd have felt like I did my dad wrong. So while I'm over in Australia going inside out, imploding, I start to find a little power in the fact that, oh man, the harder this gets, the greater the reward there's going to be on the other side once I get out of here. Because it was non-negotiable. I was staying the year. So I never gave my mind the chance to go, well, you could go home. That was never on my proverbial mental table as a choice. So I start to get identity off the strength of making that choice. The rest of the year became much easier. At least some of the troubles I was having, I was laughing at. I wasn't going to the bathtub at 5:30 doing what I was doing many times a week, if at all. All of a sudden, I'm kind of starting to live a little life and dancing with it, going, yeah, man, it's just not easy, but this is how it is. We got it. I'm writing first poems in there that I wrote.
And then life brings you back to Texas to study law.
Yeah.
Which doesn't end up working out for you, because in your sophomore year, you start questioning yourself, I think based on this little book.
Yep. That book right there is a gift.
So you're studying law and you start questioning yourself because of something you read in this book?
So this book, it was the end of my sophomore year. I'm headed towards law school, going to take my finals. I was a study bug. I made A's across the board. And all of a sudden, for the first time in my life, I go, dude, you got this. You don't need to study this anymore. And I shut my books. I'd never done that before. And now I got 2 hours before my first exam. And I look over, and there's a stack of magazines over here, Sports Illustrated, Playboys, Penthouse. I'm like, oh, I like sports. I like women, too. Let's check these out. I flip through. Nothing. After about the 7th magazine deep, I look down, and this book is laying there, and this is what's facing me. It was in the middle of the stack of the magazines. And I look at it, and I go, the greatest salesman in the world. And I said it aloud, I go, well, who's that? I pick it up, and I start reading. First chapter's about forming good habits and becoming their slave. And I remember thinking, well, if you're gonna go against yourself and go to law school, and you're just gonna say, well, yeah, I think I'll do it. That's not a good habit, McConaughey. It's not a good habit for you. You might be missing out on something. You better create a new habit of just doing what you think you were expected to do. That was the thinking in my mind. And I said, all right, well, I want to go to film school. I don't want to go to law school. I want to go to film school.
Simply because the book mentioned that having the habit of doing something just because you think you should or can is not good enough.
That part, I verbalized that. It doesn't even say that directly. Just saying, I will form good habits and become their slave. And I was like, if I go to law school, that's making me a slave to a bad habit.
And the bad habit being?
Bad habit being, you be good at it. It's kind of what you're supposed to do. It's all you've ever kind of thought you were doing. It's what everyone expects you to do in the family. But remember, it's keeping me up at night. Law school, all the 20s, I don't know. I've also got this other thing. I've got a friend telling me, your short stories are good, man. You can tell a good story. Filmmaking, you could tell them that sounds fun. Then I go, my dad's paying for school. I got to get permission from him first. So I go, okay, what's a good time to call him? I remember I planned it out. I said, it was Monday, and I said, I'll call him now. I said, no, he's at work. Don't call him now at work. He won't be able to compartmentalize. This is gonna come out of left field for him. He's in the middle of pipe sales, right? I said, I'll call him tonight. I said, no, Monday, back from work, it's a stressful day. Tuesday night, 7:30, second day of the week. He's into the work week. He'll have eaten dinner. He's on the couch having a beer with Mom. Called him at 7:36 p.m. I remember the number. Hey, Pop. Hey, what's up, monkey man? So listen, can I talk to you about something? Sure. I said, Dad, I don't want to go to law school anymore. I want to go to film school. And I'm like, a little bead of sweat starts to go down the back of my neck. I'm like, here it comes. You want to what? I thought he was going to go into all this stuff about, like, my ass. You think I'm paying for that? You know, that can be a hobby, but you know, that's not a real job. I thought all this was coming. And after about a 5-second pause, he goes, I hear this. Are you sure that's what you want to do? Yes, sir. Another long pause. Then I hear, well, don't half-ass it. And I remember just beaming, hopping up. It's like, yes, launch pad, man. My dad not only said okay, in the way he said don't half-ass it was also, okay, let's go, big boy. Own that shit. Put some leverage, get some horsepower behind where you're going. Go do it. Now, remember to this day, and I've learned this later, I think, from becoming a father, part of what I believe happened to him and why he said that to me that way on that call was the way that I asked him, how I wasn't really asking, was I? I don't want to go to law school, Dad. I want to go to film school. I didn't stutter. He heard his son saying, this is what I want to do. And what I think happened to him in that moment is what I think any father, any parent loves, is you raise your kids in a certain way and you give them a guideline, a ladder to climb, and here's the guidelines. If you do it this way, you're most likely going to have some success in life and it'll work out for you. And then when we do it that way, we can be proud parents. But what do we really want to happen when our kids are out of the house and they're on their own? We kind of want them to call one day and go, I'm breaking out. I'm going my own way. I'm going my own way. And as a parent, we go, as much as it may scare us, we're going, yes. I gave my kid the confidence and the courage and the foundation to say they're going to go their own way. And in a way, I think every parent honors and loves that moment. And I heard my dad, when he didn't hear me stutter, when he heard me directly say what I said, and I wasn't really asking him, even though I was, out of respect, asking him. The way I said it, I wasn't asking him. And I think he felt that. And don't half-ass it.
Don't half-ass it. As a philosophy for life, how important has that proven to be since then? Because you've remembered it, and I've heard you reference it as being important.
Look, it's become quite, and again, it's become more than intellectually important or more than something. I don't need to put it on my fridge to remind me. It has become important in relationships. It has become important in work. It has become important in self-help. It has become important for my own spirituality. It's become important for me as a father, as a husband. Relationship-wise, don't half-ass it. What's that's turned into me is another sort of theory I have, and I call it own, don't rent. Going with an owner's mindset into relationships. Most relationships that we make, hire an assistant or girlfriend, boyfriend, most of them don't last the whole life. But I believe that if you go into those with the idea that I want it to be a lifer, if this works out, hopefully this is forever. Usually they don't end up being that. But the owner's mentality will give you, you and that person, the dignity and the power to go, we can be everything we can be in this relationship. And if it doesn't work out, we say it didn't work out. But if I'm going with the renter's mentality, I flip it. Yeah, I'll do this for a few weeks. Yeah, I don't know if this kid's gonna make it. Well, maybe a couple months. You're not gonna get the most out.
Mass Cafe. Be right back. Well, I ended up having to feed my cat too, so.
Out of that person.
Well, it was like you in Australia. You went in committed to owning that full experience and not leaving.
Yeah.
And there's something really people tell me all the time, especially married people, because I ask them, I say, why do people get married? Why don't you just, why do you need the contract? And they talk to me about how going in with commitment itself changes how you deal with the inevitability of the messiness that you saw in your parents' relationships and challenge itself. Like challenge, as you saw in Australia, but also in your parents' marriage, is like inbuilt into all things meaningful. And if you go in with that renter mentality, the first red light,
you're out. You know what you do? Something happens, you're like, oh, this is a sign of things to come. Oh, this is only going to get worse. No, when you get married, you're like, we're owning this. Oh, the spider sense, my alarms didn't start going off because we're going to work through this. And if it does become a habit, we'll work through it. Or it's a one-off and I just got to put up with it because they like to do what they're doing more than I don't like them doing that. Which is another good measurement,
I guess it begets the question about the role or the benefit of having plan Bs, because we're increasingly told to have plan B in a relationship, or plan C, D, and E, and in work a plan C, D, and E. And
options can make us a tyrant. Too many options can make a tyrant of any of us, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So can conveniences. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you don't give yourself that option, and mind you, there's plenty of divorces out there that were necessary and were good for both of them. Bravo. But I think there's more divorces because someone gave themselves the out, had the renter's mentality. Ooh, first sign of smoke, I'm going to say there's fire. Be easier to get out of here, path least resistance. Sorry. I think too many people quit. I think that's more of a problem than the divorces that are ones that turned out to be good.
So many people are at that stage in their life where they might have that bad habit that you described. They might know that they're in a situation which isn't for them. Maybe their parents gave them this idea, society pushed them into that position. And I think it's the uncertainty that keeps them trapped. Like the certain misery is often much more appealing than the uncertainty.
Yay.
And I just want you managed to make that change, which is quite rare.
Well, what that reminds me of is I started to become a little cynical, which is different than being skeptical. I believe it. We go from innocence when we're born to naivete to skepticism, where we're discerning and discriminate on choices. We have judgment. And then the next one is off the cliff, what I think is cynicism. The misery of cynicism is a hell of a lot easier than the optimism and belief of skepticism.
Mm-hmm.
Hell of a lot easier. It's easy. Bam, put it down. Oh, that's hard. Bam, I'm out. The individuality. Bam. No, man, if it's hard, if I sweat, don't do it. Bam, easier to put him down. Hey, everyone just laughed at my joke. See, it was easy. I was at life of the party. I think less respected once you leave that situation, but now you're living in doubt, and you're also doubting yourself that I don't want to work that hard. I don't want to see if I can make that work anymore. I don't want to give that person the benefit of the doubt because it can be a lot of work, and they're gonna fucking screw up, and I'm gonna go, told you so. Nah, so let's not even try it. Or if I do try it, let's just rent. Let's do more than just sign that prenup. You know what I mean? We give ourselves the options, and the parachutes in too many places, we pull it early when we could still be flying. Even though maybe rocky flight, pull that sumbitch. Okay, it was a safe move. Got down to the ground. What I was building didn't last. Sometimes maybe it shouldn't. I think most of the time it could if you'd have hung in there. Both of you.
Before we started recording, we were having a little bit of a chat about a thought that's been on my mind recently about how independence and I guess an abundance of choice kind of links to that might be leading people astray. Because it appears to me the most fulfilled people that I know generally have a lot of dependence.
Yeah.
But the culture we live in tells us to be our own boss, stand on your own 2 feet. More people are lonely than ever, less friends than ever, less likely to have kids, less likely to get married. And it feels like independence, and those people often, I think, are struggling I think of so many of my friends, one in particular that I've mentioned a few times, who 38 years old, living the life of independence, like a picture of independence.
Yeah.
Skyrise apartment, single, no kids, freelancer, so not going to a team, working
Yay.
from his home.
Yay.
And then, you know, one of my best friends in the world, 6 months later, I see him in person and he's flown to America, been baptized, and tells me that for 3 or 4 months, he just couldn't get out of bed. There was no meaning in his life. And so now he's a, you know, strongly Christian man. And we're seeing this, especially with young men in particular. We're seeing more and more of them turn to religion.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering what's going on there.
Yeah. Let's stay on young men for a while. And this does not exclude young women, but for the sake of this conversation, I'm going to block it over here and say young men. We want and need to be relied on. We want and need to be depended on. And a sheer independent individual lifestyle with nothing that you're responsible for outside of what you only need. Nothing, no other gardens you have to tend to, career, relationally, no other collective, communal. Oh, thank you, I needed that. Who relies on us? How much do we need to rely on others? There's another question, and I don't know that answer. It'd be fun to discuss it. How much do we need to depend on others? One of my self-reliance is at the top of my value system, and I don't think it is contradictory to faith. I actually think that free will and fate, again, are here. As a believer, I believe that it's all been written. At the same time, I believe God's going, I need your hands on the wheel, man. Hey, you're steering this, okay? Don't just rely on fate. Too many people doing that, man. I've had my agnostic years where I was not a believer at all, fully in self-reliant. It's on me, everything. And I think it was such a valuable few years because I did need to call myself on some shit. I did need to say the buck stops here with you, McConaughey. I did need to quit becoming such a repeat offender. You know, I was sinning, which means to miss the mark, have bad aim, literally, where it comes from an archery term. To sin means to miss the mark. When you think about it like that, it becomes more practical, especially for us agnostics and stuff. I was missing the mark, and it was time for me. I didn't want to keep forgiving myself on Sunday and then repeat and do the same shit again Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and then go, oh, now I can be forgiven. I was like, no, man. Forgive me, Father. I know what I'm doing, and I'm keep doing it. Cut the shit, McConaughey. Quit giving yourself that out, that parachute, even though you may have it, even though word says grace of God will forgive you. Yeah, I needed to strong arm myself, put my damn hands on the wheel, look in the mirror and go, it's on you. Because it is. At the same time, when I came out of that, I was like, oh, those two aren't mutually exclusive, the self-reliance and belief. I heard God applauding, going, thank you. I need more like you that go, yes, I'm responsible. The choices I make today have to do with where I'll be tomorrow. Yes, they have consequences. My choices matter. Thank you. That's what I heard. But it wasn't exclusive of having faith and belief. Again.
What caused that period of your life in your late 20s where you started to drift? Because at that time you'd had your first success as an actor.
I think I was living, I gave myself the luxury of living that fully independent top of the penthouse. I got money. I decided to go check in at the Chateau Marmont. I laid down a $120,000 tab and said, let me know when that's out. Me and my dog. A couple years. Bought a pair of leather pants and a motorcycle. Told myself, for the next 2 years, if you ever think you've had too many, order another one. Next 2 years, you ever go, oh, maybe I should have a single? Order a double. I exercised it in as healthy way as I could. but I was sheerly independent, and I was swimming. I was transient. It was fun, but when every day's a Saturday and every night's a Saturday night, I started looking for I need to break a sweat here. Where's the resistance? I need my Monday morning. Literally, and I need it here, and I need it faith-wise.
Did the loss of your father around in your 20s have a big impact on this sort of unanchoring?
No, the loss of the father dropped the anchor deeper and got more secure. That was 92. That was 5 days into shooting my first film, Dazed and Confused. The loss of him, one, which was, I didn't think he could die. Obviously he could, and he did. And it was, took my mother to kill him, as you know from the story. They made love on a Monday morning. He had a heart attack.
It's not a bad way to go. I mean,
He called it. He told me and my brothers, boys, when I go, I'm going to be making love to your mother. And damn it if he didn't do it. But him passing away after the shock in the morning really woke me up to go, oh, you don't have that, talking about parachutes again, you don't have that one being in your life that has your back, that in my mind was above government, above religion, everything. Oh, if I'm really in a pinch, Dad's got my back. You don't have that anymore, Matthew. So all the things he taught you that you kind of been acting like, it's time to become those and put your ass on the line. Me. I remember that's around the time I carved into a tree. In the middle of the night, I woke up and these words were just stuck. And I went and I was like, I'd be less impressed and more involved. And my father passing on, the world got flat. Things that I revered, wow, mortal things that I revered, people, places, all of a sudden, my eye got level. Things that I was patronizing and condescending and looking down my nose at rose up to eye level. And I was like, time to become a man. Walk forward, peripheral vision, get it, own yourself, walk forward with more courage, and start becoming the man you want to be instead of acting like it and putting it off.
Be less impressed and more involved.
More involved, yeah.
What did you mean by that? And where did that come from?
It came from, we grew up hardcore on gratitude. I'm a very thankful guy. And being thankful and having gratitude is very important. But you can't stop there because too much just, oh, I'm so happy to be here. You're so impressed to be here. Thank you for having me, which we should have. But if you live only there, we can't be present and be involved in whatever we're doing and do it as well as we want to do it. You got to go, no, thank you for letting me be here, and I'm supposed to be here. Now let's go. If I'm even talking to you, if I'm here going, man, I'm so happy to be here. If I'm just happy to be here and go no further than that, we can't have this conversation. I'm not there. I won't be there yet. I can't be grounded enough to have it right here. I'd be like, I'd anticipate my thoughts. I'd, say something that is only the pretty stuff and not the ugly stuff, or, oh, don't want to be me. So to be involved allowed me to be more honest and have more courage. When we're involved, we're more honest and have more courage to do what we're fashioned to do, how we're fashioned to do it. But if we're only impressed, and I've had these moments. When I met the Coen brothers, they were my favorite directors. I revered them. I had dinner with them. I blew it. And I fumbled over my word. Oh, damn it. Get back, because I was nervous. I was so happy to be there. I was so impressed to be sitting down with the Coen brothers and not involved enough to sit there and have a conversation. And I look back that night and I go, that's why they never cast me in anything. I blew it that night. And I've since seen them. And I was like,
All right. Well, we are at 1 hour and 6 minutes. I'm going to take a break for a few hours and go do some more recording. So 37,752 along with 36,089. That is 73,821. So 73,600. Wait, what did I say? 73,000. 73,821. 73,821. So 26,179. So 26,179. Let's see how much I can get recorded today. I'm going to try to record and translate 6,000 words. Let's see if we get to 20K after today. That would be a good, yeah. So I'll be back in a few hours. Let me do this. Thank you for hanging out. That was better than doing it alone. Kick as usual. Let me do this. Kick as usual. Thank you guys. See you later. Twitch. Thank you all. See you later. YouTube. Jared. Keep plugging away, brother. Keep plugging away. I'll be back in a few hours, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. And nobody else. All right. Peace. Be back. Be back. And I'm going to probably put that podcast back on too. I like having the background noise. All right. Deuces, everybody.